The first point of knowledge, dear brothers, is that the greatest blessing among the gifts given by God to humanity is the intellect. I have mentioned several times before that modern medical science has confirmed that both the brain and the heart think. Therefore, when you combine these two aspects, you can refer to it as reason. In fact, the greatest right, which is to believe in God and His messengers, peace be upon them, is also made possible through this reason. Therefore, God has also conveyed the same 10 commandments within the Torah and the Gospel, that is, in the Old Testament and the New Testament, as well as in this final testament, the Holy Quran. The Quranic version spans from verse 22 to verse 39 of Surah Al-Israa, consisting of 70 verses. The 9th commandment is found in Surah Al-Israa, verse 36, which states, "And do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. Indeed, the hearing, the sight, and the heart, about all those one will be questioned." A person should not follow something until they have acquired sufficient knowledge about it. Indeed, the ears, eyes, and intellect are appropriate tools for understanding. In Arabic, beneficial things are referred to as fawaid, which means extracted or useful things. You will be asked about these 3 faculties. Why did you not use them? To seek the truth. In the same way, in verse 9 of Surah Az-Zumar, God Almighty has stated, "In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Are those who know equal to those who do not know? Only those with understanding will take heed. O imprisoned one, peace be upon you, say that those who possess knowledge and those who do not are not equal, and only the wise accept advice." In contrast, those who do not use their intellect, do not use their ears, and do not use their eyes, God Almighty has specifically mentioned each of their faculties, and ultimately issued a severe verdict against them. In Surah Al-A'raf, verse 179, God Almighty has declared that these people are like animals, and indeed, they are. Even worse than that. This sentence needs clarity for translation. People are like animals, and even worse. Brothers, the Quran has encouraged holding beliefs and ideas based on definite knowledge while rejecting superstitions. The climax of this is found in Surah Al-Mulk, verse 10. "And they will say, if only we had listened or used our intellect, we would not be among the companions of the blaze." When friends reach hell, they will wish they had used their intellect in the world and listened carefully with their ears, so that they would not be in hell today. In response, God Almighty's divine opinion will come, so they will confess their sins. So woe to the companions of the blaze. They have confessed to their original crime. Thus woe to the companions of the blaze, the inhabitants of hell. Now, there is no benefit in acknowledging the crime. And brothers, the premise of the messengers is based on the fact that a person must use their intellect, ears, and eyes to avoid misguidance and choose the path of truth. In Surah Adhar, Allah Almighty has indicated, "Indeed, we have guided him to the path, whether he is grateful or ungrateful. We have made the path of guidance clear. You can choose to follow it or deny it. This is a matter of choice, but the outcome will be different. The fate of those who deny will be the wrath of Allah, while the fate of the believers will be the position of mercy in paradise." Allah Almighty has made humans free and accountable, meaning that individuals must choose the path of guidance themselves, rather than using destiny as an excuse, claiming that it was written in their fate or luck. If all these matters are left to fate as prescribed by Allah Almighty, then the very purpose of the prophets would be nullified. The purpose of the prophets coming into this world is to shake us into using our intellect, eyes, and ears. If Allah Almighty had forcibly written someone's destiny or paradise, then there would be no need for prophets or books. The case for these books and the prophets is based on the fact that we must use our intellect.